Wow.
That's how brotherhood works, brother. Consumer deals, out-of-the-box methods. We give so much to each other. And this is why the scripture says, behold how good and pleasant it is for brethren to dwell together in unity. I ended with that, bro.
Come on, man. Guess what you just did, fam?
I brought Atlanta and Detroit in the building.
Yes, sir. Hey, the voice of reason, man. I wrapped it up strong tonight, man. Listen, I'll be back Monday with a whole week's worth of topics. Don't forget to tune in, 7 to 9 p.m.
KBLA 1580 Santa Monica.
I'm Alexandria Ikamoni with BIN News Now. Officials in Minnesota are providing more details on the arrest of the suspect in the killing of a Minnesota state lawmaker. Vance Bolter was captured alive after being seen on camera at a trail.
In the murders he committed, in the attempted murders, that he conducted that activity alone. We will be exploring if there are any broader network. We have not uncovered any of that at this time, but that will be part of our investigation.
Bolter is accused of killing state lawmaker Melissa Hortman and her husband. He's also accused of shooting and injuring Democratic Senator John Hoffman and his wife. One person is dead after a shooting during a No Kings rally in Utah on Saturday. Police say shots rang out near a federal building in Salt Lake City, where around 10,000 people were demonstrating peacefully. Bone Thugs and Harmony and 3-6 Mafia are hitting the road for a co-headlining tour. The Thuggish Ruggish Mafia Tour kicks off August 21st. Get BIN News Now on demand 24/7 on the iHeartRadio app.
Is this the tackle? This is the KBLA Sports Minute with Ray Richardson.
12 HBCU student athletes will be competing Saturday in the finals of the NCAA Division I Track and Field Championships in Eugene, Oregon. North Carolina A&T has 3 athletes competing for a national title. Xavier Partee in the triple jump, Olivia Dowd in the women's triple jump, and Spirit Morgan in the women's high jump. Marcia Say of Howard is the only HBCU athlete to qualify for the finals in 2 events. Say is in the women's 100-meter hurdles. She is also a member of Howard's 4x100-meter relay team. The track and field finals kick off at 11:30 Saturday morning. ESPN Plus will have live coverage. Long Beach native Russell Westbrook declined a $3.4 million player option to stay with the Denver Nuggets. He will become a free agent on June 30th. The 36-year-old Westbrook is entering his 17th season in the NBA. I've said it before and I'll say it again. Westbrook still would look good in a Clippers uniform. No debates, no speculation, just the info you need. That's your KBLA Sports Minute. I'm Ray Richardson on KBLA Talk 1580.
1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2. You ready?
Somebody make some noise in this joint.
KBLA Talk 1580 celebrates its 4th anniversary this year on Juneteenth.
Here we go again. Holla.
Hard to believe 4 years has gone by so fast.
Oh my God.
But here we are, still standing, still loving and serving our people as best we can.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
To celebrate our 4th anniversary, we have 4 big events, and you're invited to all of them.
She got a lot to say. Let's do this.
Let's get it on.
On Wednesday, June 18th, we go live on C-SPAN for the 2nd consecutive year with our Climate Justice plus Black Health Symposium. Tavis Smiley will moderate an all-star panel of thinkers and influencers as we continue our vitally important climate justice work.
Hey, Tavis Smiley, talk about.
On Thursday, June 19th, you're invited to join us as we celebrate Juneteenth and our 4th anniversary. There'll be plenty of food, fun, great music, good vibes, and all of your favorite KBLA Talk 1580 hosts will be there.
Yeah, man.
Flip the beat. On Saturday, June 21st, there are 2 big events you're invited to attend.
I can't wait to hear it.
This year, KBLA Talk 1580 continues its annual partnership with the Empowerment Congress for a community celebration and dialogue to educate, engage, and empower. This year's theme is Resilience in the Face of Chaos.
Can't wait to see what's up next.
Y'all ain't ready for this.
And new this year is our State of Black Women in Los Angeles Symposium, moderated by Dominique DiPrima, with a luncheon to follow. Dominique will be leading a dialogue with some of the most impactful Black women leaders in Los Angeles, and you're invited to join.
This is it.
All of these events are free, but seating is limited, so you must register in advance at our KBLA1580.com website, where you can find all the details you need about each event.
Check it out.
It's our 4th anniversary, and we would love to celebrate it with you.
I love you guys so much. There's nothing you can do about it.
We're KBLA Talk 1580.
The only black talk radio station west of the Mississippi.
Thank you for having our black.
Happy anniversary, KBLA.
We love you. Love you.
First things first.
First things first, it's the DU General, Money P. I'ma put you up on the schedule, 6 to 9, 8 weekdays, not 2 and 7. Let's go. We got a lot to talk about, so much to pedal through. Unapologetically progressive. Tune to KBLA 1580 to get the mess. We're your ancestors' favorite radio station. First black on talk radio, left side of the nation. Me and Dominique DiPrima go way back. Tight Smiley making sure the station stays black. Discussing all the issues in our community. We're hosted black and brown and others find unity. So let's talk about it. Maybe we can improve it. Digital underground, always down with the movement. So we tune in. The first things first with the queen of Black Talk Radio, Dominique DiPrima. Go sis.
First things first.
KBLA Talk 1580. Good morning. Happy Monday. Good morning and God bless. I'm Dominique DiPrima. The show is called First Things First, and my very first thing today and every single day, giving thanks, giving praises, and asking for blessings from God. Asking for the blessings of the ancestors and the elders. And let's go. Let's go. Happy Monday. Happy KBLA anniversary week. Happy we got a lot to talk about every single day. This is how we do things on a Monday, every Monday pretty much. Hour 1, we look local, what's going on the left coast. Hour 2, we go national, international, and beyond. But we start off the hour with Mindful Monday with Sahara Ali, where we get our mindset ready for the week ahead and set our intentions, get a little astrological outlook. Hour 3, we do a deep dive with a person or persons of interest or a hot topic. Today's a messy Monday. We do that the third Monday of the month. We talk about your situationships and all of the things that go along with it. We'll have Captain Tyrone Davis joining us, so that should be quite fun. But we certainly have a lot to unpack. Happy birthday to the great one. Tupac's B-Day is today, and I'm celebrating him all day. I celebrate him all the time. I knew him when he was here, and I celebrate him now that he's gone. Every year after year. And to help me do that, well, she also knew him, although she's a president of the Prince fan club. She also knew and admired Tupac. She is the director of BlackLivesMatter Grassroots. I'm always giving your musical credits. She's a professor at Cal State LA, and she's also one of the lead organizers for BLM Los Angeles. Dr. Melina Abdullah, good morning.
Good morning. Happy Tupac Day.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Yeah. Those of us who come from the Bay Area, who hail from the Bay Area, have a special, I think we pay a special tribute to Pac.
Absolutely. Absolutely. As a friend, as an organizer, too, we got to remember Tupac was not just an artist, but he was also an organizer who comes from a political history and had a political lens. And also as a friend, we miss him.
Yes, indeed. I can tell you were protesting all weekend. Your voice is so up. Your voice. You've been yelling and chanting all weekend long, have you not?
Been yelling, chanting, organizing, preparing, all of that. All the stuff we got to do in the midst of what is utter chaos here. Yeah.
Yeah, when you say utter chaos, of course, you're not saying utter chaos in the sense that the New York Post says it, where if you read the Post, you would think that you couldn't walk down any street in LA without fires and people smashing store windows. What do you mean when you say chaos?
Well, the chaos is imposed by all of these law enforcement agencies, by police, by the federal government, who are putting on masks and allowing people to run around and just snatch people off of corners and throw them into vans, and vans going into dark garages and disappearing mamas and aunties and uncles and fathers on Father's Day. That's the utter chaos, right? The terror that has been imposed, the many, many countries that are now on this travel ban list. That's the utter chaos that I'm talking about.
Yeah. I ask you to put on your political scientist hat, because I should have said that in the intro, but you're also a political scientist. I've had one opinion or two opinions on this, but I still cannot get my mind around it. What is it that allows Homeland Security and Immigration Customs Enforcement to, one, conceal their own identities by wearing masks, and two, to snatch people without, any due process? It seems like, I know you've said before on the show we don't have the rights that we thought we had and we're in a different era, but just let's pretend that we do have a constitution for a moment. What is it that gives them that ability to do that?
They don't have the ability. They don't have the right to do that. This is not them following rules that exist. This is the end of rules. This is the end of law in many ways. They're behaving illegally. When I share with you that I've never used the word Gestapo unless I was talking about World War II. I've never used the word Gestapo before. I'm using it all the time now. They're behaving as a Gestapo. There's supposed to be rules, right? And I want to say rules of engagement, but that term is supposed to be reserved for war. They are treating this nation as if we are enemy combatants and they are engaged in war. And even in war, this would be considered, what's happening would be considered violations of rules of engagement. So they're not following a rule. And it would seem to me, I have a practice and a protocol, and we in Black Lives Matter don't generally waste our energy speaking with frontline cops, right? So you'll see often people who are newer to protest try to reason with police. We don't waste our breath doing that. But I do think that those who are putting on these masks should question themselves that, is this really what you want to be? Is this really, what's allowable? What's going to happen in the end when you decided to engage and shoot tear gas at mothers and grandmothers? And if you watch the videos of over the weekend, it looks like they think they're playing war video games, right? That's what they think they're doing. These are regular people who are in the streets, not even violating a curfew law that I don't know is constitutional, right? Not even violating a curfew, right? You're shooting into crowds of regular people who are doing nothing but chanting ICE out of LA.
Yeah. So basically what you're saying is they're just doing whatever they want. They are being lawless. And so there's no, because what I was told by attorneys, well, he's declared a state of emergency, but as far as I know, the Trump state of emergency has pertained to immigration at the border. And it's not about coming into cities and, snatching people up. I haven't heard him declare a state of emergency nationwide. I've heard him declare a state of emergency at the border. And this city is not a border town.
Okay, so now we're getting into a few technicalities. So there are some Border Patrol, so the Border Patrol actually has authority 100 miles from every border. So that means that they actually can't, and that includes oceans are considered borders. So you could argue. you
so
could
basically they have
argue-
authority everywhere pretty much.
Right. So you could argue that they have authority. We've never seen that authority used. And this is not just Border Patrol that's engaging. It's every policing agency. One of the things I said at the protest on Saturday is you can't just simply say F ICE because they're all in cahoots with each other, right? So who's shooting into crowds isn't just ICE. It's not just Border Patrol snatching people up. In fact, we don't know who it is sometimes. And there's new stories coming out about people who are not even affiliated with law enforcement taking advantage of the completely chaotic and unconstitutional way in which police are engaging, in which ICE and Border Patrol and Homeland Security are engaging, and putting on just masks and vests and snatching women and throwing them into vans, right? And they are not taking them to detention or deportation. They're doing whatever they want to do, and people don't know, right? They don't know if it's ICE or if it's not ICE. Not that it's better if it's ICE, but what's happening is enabling everybody to engage in these ways.
Well, I mean, and the other thing is you don't know where your loved one is. To me, that's one of the scariest things, maybe because as a teenager, I read Prisoner Without a Name, Cell Without a Number by this Argentinian writer, and it just really highlights what can happen when you are taken by some government, law enforcement or whatever, and put in a cell and no one knows where you are. Like,
no one knows where you are. You don't even have, you have no rights.
Right. How can you have rights if no one knows where you are? How can you have representation if you can't even reach anyone and your attorney has no clue that maybe you're even missing?
Right. That's right. And your children, what happens to your children? We haven't even begun, and we don't actually have good information on what's happening if they're rounding mamas out of workplaces, if they're rounding fathers up from Home Depot or whatever they're seizing upon. And we should be clear, most people are actually there's this whole process that they're engaged in where they're getting people as they go to work from their homes. And they're taking them at the start of the day a block away from their homes. We're starting to study and learn these patterns. People don't even know that their loved ones are missing until the end of the day when they don't return from home. And the workplaces don't realize it either because a lot of them are being snatched up as individuals who are driving to work. So what happens to those children? We have no idea what happens to those children. So this is all, we're 10 days in to this latest assault, and we don't really know what's happening. We're just getting some idea of the patterns.
Talking with Dr. Melina Abdullah, and you're invited in always at 800-920-1580, 800-920-1580. I'm Dominique DiPrima, and this right here is KBLA Talk 1580.
She's reclaiming her time on KBLA Talk 1580. More First Things First with Dominique DiPrima when we come forward.
Is reviewing life insurance on your to-do list? Now's the perfect time to add it. A friend recently told me that securing life insurance sooner rather than later can help you lock in lower rates for years to come. So I bumped this up on my list and got it done. I called SelectQuote and couldn't believe how easy and affordable life insurance is. I'm 40 and got a $500,000 policy for $16 a month. My husband's also 40 and his $500,000 policy was only $18 a month. Plus, with SelectQuote's same-day coverage, there was no medical exam required, and we were covered by the time we hung up. Knowing I have this checked off my list feels amazing, but the peace of mind knowing my family is protected feels even better.
Call SelectQuote at 1-800-729-7070. That's 1-800-729-7070. Or go to selectquote.com to get your free quote today. That's 1-800-729-7070. Details on example rate at selectquote.com.
We've got a lot to talk about.
Hi, I'm Zoe Williams, a.k.a. the voice of reason, encouraging you to join me weekdays from 7 to 9 p.m. for the world's most intriguing relationship radio roundtable. Every night, I facilitate and encourage our loyal listeners to participate in the most engaging relationship discussions you'll hear anywhere. So make it a point to rendezvous with me, Zoe Williams, the voice of reason, Monday through Friday, 7 to 9 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Trust me, your relationships will never be the same. The VOR is on fire tonight.
Unapologetically progressive. KBLA Talk 1580. We've got your black.
LA's newest soul food restaurant is getting spectacular reviews. Great place with amazing food. The Sunday champagne brunch is fabulous. I saw the place on IG. We tried it for lunch. We were blown away by the food and the service. The restaurant has an inviting atmosphere and a dynamic vibe. Over the years, Lionel has catered most major black events in Los Angeles, including all of our KBLA Talk 1580 gatherings. But now he has his own spot, Lionel's Soul Food Cuisine, and you need to check it out at 8501 South Vermont Avenue in Los Angeles. Oxtails, baked or fried chicken, meatloaf, turkey chops, pork chops, catfish, short ribs, and all the fixins. Collard greens, mac and cheese, yams, red beans, black-eyed peas, and more. And of course, hot water cornbread, satisfying drinks, and delicious desserts. Lionel's is a great place for brunch, lunch, or dinner. If it's good enough for us, it's good enough for you, because we've got your black. So, head on over to Lionel's Soul Food Cuisine at 8501 South Vermont Avenue in Los Angeles and tell Lionel you heard about it on KBLA Talk 1580.
Your ancestors' favorite radio station, and your favorite morning show host. Let's get back to Dominique DiPrima right now.
And I'm talking with Dr. Melina Abdullah. I'm welcoming you always at 800-920-1580. 800-920-1580. Couple things I want to talk with you about, Dr. Melina Abdullah. We always get to talking, and sometimes I miss some of our agenda items or things that I know you have going on. One of those, well, before I pivot, we're just talking about the ICE, the ICE, anti-ICE protests, just like the protests in support of the people of Palestine. There are always going to be folks asking, why is that on the agenda of Black Lives Matter? Strictly speaking, Palestinians are not black. Strictly speaking, although we know there are black migrants, the vast majority here, at least in Southern California, are going to be Latino. Why is this your fight? Why is this our fight? Dr. Abdullah, do we still have Dr. Abdullah?
Sorry. Yeah, we released a statement, Black Lives Matter, Grassroots. This is our second statement that we released. The first statement we released in February when Trump announced these ICE policies. And this week we released, or last week we released a second statement that really identifies 4 reasons that this is our fight, right? And these are based on both moral and strategic reasons. One, it's not right. And that's just, the long and short of it is it's not right. Anytime you talk about children being snatched out of the arms of mothers, it's not right. And I think as Black people, I do believe in transgenerational memory. And I do believe that our mothers and grandmothers and great-grandmothers' souls cry out when they witness this. Because when we think about ourselves as what some would call foundational Black Americans, when they use terms like, I think that you lifted up this term, to be sold down the river, right? To be sold down the river. What is that about? That our foremothers had their babies snatched from their arms, and their souls cry out when they see other mothers' babies being snatched from their arms, right? When families are being separated, when people are being terrorized and snatched off of street corners, this is what we're witnessing is not just a political decision. It's evil. It's evil. And so, you know, it's not right. And morally, Black people have been the moral compass of this world. And we should never abandon that. It's not right. So that's number one. Number two, we believe in solidarity. And what that means is somebody doesn't have to look like you. And I know there's lots of conversation in community, and I want us to have those conversations about anti-Blackness within Brown communities, anti-Blackness in Arab communities, anti-Blackness really from everybody, right? And solidarity is about not just asking, is this happening to you, or is it even happening to people who do right by you all the time? Solidarity is about remembering the source of the oppression, and that we pledge ourselves to one another and make sure that our battles are fought together. So we pledge solidarity to anybody who's being harmed and oppressed. Number three, you know, and you got to this, that all of the people targeted are not Black. I was walking with a dear sister of mine yesterday who's Ethiopian, who talked about her sister-in-law getting snatched up, right? But also, even when you talk about Latinx community, many of those folks are also Latinx. You know this, Dominique, right? That there's a such thing as Black Latinos, and we got to remember that. And we have to remember that a lot of migrants, even in Los Angeles, are also from Haitian communities, from Caribbean communities, and from continental African communities. And then lastly, anytime you talk about enabling law enforcement, putting more police on street corners, giving them more guns and weapons and even tanks, that is ultimately going to bring the greatest harm to Black people, and we're already seeing this. One of the reasons my voice is like this is tear gas, right? I've been tear gassed. Yesterday we were with Brother Quincy from Africatown and BlackLivesMatter Los Angeles. He was shot up with rubber bullets. Our brother Prince Akili had his car windows shot out with rubber bullets. Wow. And that's all as a result of, and Baba Akili got punched, right? That's all as a result of enabling law enforcement and unleashing law enforcement on communities. So we have to make this our fight, because it is. We can pretend like it's not, but it is.
Yeah. Last time you were on, we ran out of time because we always have so many things to talk about, and you didn't really share how what that experience was like being tear gassed.
Yeah, I mean, I've been tear gassed before, not a lot, but when I was in Ferguson, tear gas was everywhere. Even in Ferguson, where in 2014, you know, we saw the makings of a mass revolution, of an uprising, because the community was rightfully enraged over the murder of Mike Brown, right? And as we were in the streets for days and days and weeks that turned into months, the police and tanks and tear gas that came out after the curfew, you know, came out after dark. Here, that is not what's happening. I got tear gassed on the very first day. On Monday, we were engaged in, it seemed like a real lightweight protest. There were all these elected officials there and labor unions there, and we were chanting for, that's when David Huerta, who was our labor leader from SEIU USWW, had been brutalized and arrested, and we were demanding his release. And we started marching after the rally, and I've seen police engage and experienced police engage hundreds of times. But the way they tend to do it is they announce what they're planning to do before they do it. This is not what happened. We hit the corner of the detention center. This is me walking with one of my attorneys who's in her 80s. This is people, I saw friends with their kids in strollers. And we hit the corner, and as soon as we hit the corner, they just blasted us with tear gas canisters. There was no announcement, no move back, no skirmish line. It is as if they are intending, and I believe they are intending to bring harm, intending to, create conditions of what feels like war.
Mm. Yeah, I didn't verify whether, those were authentic or not, but it seems like I saw film of officers shooting rubber bullets from up high on a building into the crowd, which seems like it should be illegal if that is in fact what is happening. We're talking with Dr. Melina Abdullah. We've got news, traffic, and sports right here. I want to update on Erskin Jenkins. I know there's some action ahead this week, and Erskin is one of those folks killed by police, children really, young people, who has found his way into my heart, and I'm trying to track what's going on with justice for Erskin Jenkins. We'll look at that and more when we come forward on KBLA Talk 1580.
More of First Things First with Dominique DiPrima when we come forward.
I'm Alexandria Ikamoni with BIN News Now. Vance Bolter, the suspect in the political assassination in Minnesota, has been captured.
We took the suspect into custody who was responsible for this. That was within 43 hours of the incident. There's no question that this is the largest manhunt in the state's history.
Bolter is accused of fatally shooting State Representative Melissa Hortman and her husband, as well as injuring State Senator John Hoffman and his wife in a second shooting early Saturday morning. A curfew is in effect in downtown Los Angeles after police declare an unlawful assembly during the ongoing anti-ICE protests. Los Angeles Mayor Karen Bass, a black woman, says the downtown curfew will remain in place indefinitely. Nelly and Ashanti are officially launching their reality TV show. We Belong Together will premiere on Peacock on June 26th. Get BIN News Now on demand on the iHeartRadio app.
Think It Up is an initiative to activate student-powered, teacher-led learning projects. Students and teachers, how can you spark great learning experiences in your classrooms today? Join at thinkitup.org.
Is this the time? This is the KBLA Sports Minute with Ray Richardson.
Fans going to Dodger Stadium tonight to see the Dodgers and San Diego will see something they have not seen in almost 2 years. Shohei Ohtani will be the Dodgers starting pitcher. Ohtani, a two-time MVP with the Angels, is making his first pitching appearance since August 23, 2023. Ohtani was prevented from pitching while recovering from major shoulder surgery in the fall of 2023. The Dodgers beat San Francisco Sunday 5-4. Ohtani was 3 for 3 at the plate and scored 2 runs. The Angels were swept in their 3-game series at Baltimore. They lost 11-2 on Sunday. The Angels start a 4-game series tonight in New York against the Yankees. The NBA Finals resume tonight with Game 5 in Oklahoma City. OKC and the Indiana Pacers are tied at 2-2 in the best of 7. TV ratings for the NBA Finals are down 20% from last year after 4 games. Tip-off time tonight is 5:30 on ABC. No debates, no speculation, just the info you need. That's your KBLA Sports Minute. I'm Ray Richardson on KBLA Talk 1580.
The California Crusader newspaper would like to thank all of our subscribers for their support throughout the years, proudly serving the South Los Angeles and South Bay areas for more than 40 years. The California Crusader is a multicultural, black-owned, adjudicated newspaper that focuses on providing newsworthy information to the people in our community. We're constantly looking for ways to assist businesses in our community to connect with our subscribers. We provide low-cost, effective ways to promote your business with our reasonable and affordable advertising rates. You can participate by suggesting, sharing, and submitting your stories on the California Crusader newspaper Community Share Facebook group page, or visit our website at cal-cruise-news.com. That's calcruisenews.com. Then click on the Submit Now button located on the top right corner of the homepage, or text CCN to 42828. Again, text CCN to 42828. The California Crusader newspaper, working together to build a better community for our future. Subscribe today.
This is the story of the one. As a lineman, he does whatever it takes to keep the power on in his community. And he wants a partner like Grainger who does the same. Grainger offers the professional-grade products he needs, from voltage detectors to harnesses to hard hats, plus fast, dependable delivery, so he can rise to every challenge. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Still getting around to that fix on your car? You got this. On eBay, you'll find millions of parts, guaranteed to fit. Doesn't matter if it's a major engine repair or your first time swapping your windshield wipers. eBay has that part you need, ready to click perfectly into place for changes big and small. Loud or quiet, find all the parts you need at prices you'll love. Guaranteed to fit every time. But you already know that. eBay. Things, people, love. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
Oh no, stomach issues again?
Stomach issues? Who are you? Your pancreas. I could be the real reason for your diarrhea, gas, bloating, stomach pain, or loose oily stools.
I thought it was my stomach.
People often do, but any of these symptoms could mean having a condition called exocrine pancreatic insufficiency, or EPI. With EPI, the pancreas doesn't release enough enzymes to break down food, but EPI is manageable. Use the symptom checker on identifyepi.com and speak with your doctor. That's identifyepi.com. Sponsored by AbbVie.
This is Joe Cordell of Cordell & Cordell. Cordell & Cordell is the largest family law firm in the country, with over 35 years of helping clients navigate divorce. That does give us certain advantages, for example, in focus and resources. But being big doesn't mean less personal or less local. Our attorneys live and work in your community, and as neighbors, they understand the challenges your families face. If you're a guy facing divorce, remember, Cordell & Cordell, a partner you can count on.
1455 Frazee, San Diego. CordellCordell.com.
Hear that? That's the sound of your life. Perfectly imperfect. Beating in rhythm to the world you've created. But every time you drive after drinking, the music gets drowned out. Your life sounds pretty great. Don't let a buzz ruin it. Buzz driving is drunk driving. Don't drive buzzed. A message from NHTSA and the Ad Council.
Thanks for waking up with Dominique DiPrima on KBLA Talk 1580.
Okay, it's anniversary week. It's this week. There's still a few spaces, though. That's for special events. But, I mean, you can imagine they're almost full. So I encourage you to stop whatever you're doing and go to KBLA1580.com right now and sign up for whatever you want to go to. There's 4 events for 4 years. I can't believe it's been 4 years. If you're coming to the barbecue on the actual Juneteenth, which is Thursday, we're asking everyone to bring a food gift card of any amount for the victims of the Altadena fire. Could be a grocery store chain or a restaurant, whatever you can do. We appreciate you. It's going to help families that are still displaced by those wildfires. And please just go to KBLA 1580, pick out the events you want to come to, do it now, sign up for those events, whichever ones you want. They're all free, but the seating is limited. And of course, we're at my event on Saturday. We're having lunch. So we want to make sure we have enough lunch for everybody. Mine is the State of Black Women in LA. Dr. Melina Abdullah will be there. She's one of the panelists I'll be talking to, and it's going to be amazing. Then afterwards, we're having lunch, and we're going to build together. We're going to come up with solutions and talk and hang out, and all are invited. The panel will be all women, but everybody is invited to the event. Can you believe it's been 4 years already, Dr. Abdullah?
I can't believe it's been 4 years, but I also can't imagine the world in Los Angeles without KBLA. How did we talk about what's happening without KBLA? You know?
Yeah. It's flown by, and I'm glad we're still standing. So I hope everyone will come out. At least pick one. You know, you can go see Tavis doing a climate justice and health thing on C-SPAN on Wednesday, or come barbecue in the park on Thursday, or come to the Empowerment Congress on Saturday, or come talk about the state of Black women in LA. of which there
I
is.
think I'm going to barbecue hop on Thursday. There's a lot of stuff happening on Thursday. I think I'm a barbecue hop because we're having chicken at the Center for Black Power. We're having chicken and watermelon and all the black things.
red
we
soda.
do for red soda. And then I think I'm going to want to... hopefully there's going to be beef ribs at the KBLA barbecue. I think I'm going to make that my...
Yeah, if you notice a GPS tracker on your car, that'll be me following you barbecuing. Oh, man. Yeah. Juneteenth it is. So for those who have normal jobs, you got a day off on Thursday.
Oh, we still get it off? I thought Trump said, no, y'all not really free Juneteenth.
He hasn't rescinded the holiday, though. He's probably just going to make it into Trump Day and try to take the history off of it. It's Golden Toilet Day.
A military parade, right?
Did you see that? My.
It was terrible. And I think, and they spent tens of millions of dollars. What's the estimate? $40 million for that?
Yeah, I saw
parade?
42. Yeah, 42 million minimally. Mm-hmm.
40. You know what we could do with $40 million? Why are you spending that on a military parade that nobody wanted and nobody went to? Right? No, and you fell asleep at your own parade. That's ridiculous. That's ridiculous. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, waste of money. So Erskin Jenkins was a young college student in going to school in Lubbock, Texas, who was killed by sheriffs in Lubbock after somebody called them to a party, like a Friendsgiving that he was attending. And I know that Black Lives Matter Grassroots has been doing some real great work around that particular case, as the family has been struggling to get any answers at all. Mr. and Mrs. Jenkins, Mrs. Jenkins has been out front about that, and they really have been stonewalled by law enforcement as far as getting any information. It's supposed to be an investigation by the Texas Rangers. Where are we now, and why is this week important?
Yeah, so this week, thank you for that. This week we're mobilizing for Erskin Jenkins, and it is around Juneteenth, right? Erskin is from Texas. His mother's from Texas. He grew up around Houston, which is where, when we think about Juneteenth, is where Juneteenth started. And, you know, if I go long enough, I'll go into the whole history of Juneteenth. But for Juneteenth, we're going to be in Lubbock, Texas, and there's going to be a memorial for Erskin on the evening of the 20th. So one of the churches is holding a memorial for Erskin Jenkins. They have tried to cover up Erskin's murder. So people, even in the small town of Lubbock, many of them don't even know the story of Erskin Jenkins. So on the evening of the 20th, there's going to be a memorial for Erskin, and his family's going to come in. And then on the 21st, which is the day of their Juneteenth parade, we're going to be flyering for Erskin Jenkins. And then later that evening after the parade, and we'll have actually a car in that parade, after the parade, we're going to be gathering and having another town hall for Erskin Jenkins. What we did do is found out all of these connections, that the judge is connected to the sheriff, who's connected to the DA, and there's this kind of consolidation of white power that is trying to cover up the murder of this black boy, this beautiful black boy who was a sophomore at Texas Tech and murdered by a sheriff who, even though they haven't released the name, we have gotten the name, and we'll be talking about that too.
Interesting. With those small towns, you can almost count on the connections, but sometimes they can be quite sort of, problematic, really almost criminal when it comes to the web of connectivity between law enforcement and others in the town. And this is a place where, of course, like many other places where we send our kids, the college may be international and may have kids from everywhere, but the town itself is majority white and still has a lot of those Southern lynching traditions.
That's right. That's right. There's a chant that we often say when we're out: rise up, resist, no killer cops or jails. The whole damn system is guilty as hell. And I think that we see this illustrated in cases like this, in places like Lubbock, where, the sheriff, the elected sheriff, is now running for judge. And you have a district attorney who has ties into the political system. And, all of these things are happening. You have wives of other sheriffs hopping in and threatening Black family members whose children have been killed. And so the whole system is interconnected and interwoven. We saw this also kind of unveiled with the murder of Ahmaud Arbery. If you remember what happened to Ahmaud Arbery in Georgia, where the district attorney and the former cop who murdered Ahmaud Arbery were all connected and covering for each other. This is what we're starting to see happen in Lubbock. There's a reason that the district attorney refused to even really investigate the murder of Erskin Jenkins. It's because she's connected with everyone else.
And just to put a finer point on it, Erskin Jenkins was a young person who in his free time would feed the unhoused, was a black belt in martial arts, and just a beautiful young guy who was going to college, trying to do the right thing, and who was murdered for no reason. And for some, so as thousands of people are murdered by police, over 1,000 every year in this country, there are always some that just kind of, stand out to each particular individual, some person that speaks to you or speaks to the country. I think Breonna Taylor was one that touched many people's hearts, and that's how I felt about Elijah McClain. And for some reason, Erskin is the same way. I just feel so much sadness for his family and for him as if I knew him, even though I never did. And so I'll keep saying his name, Erskin Jenkins, and I'm glad to see this follow-up happening on Juneteenth in Texas, raising some awareness at a small town parade. And it's the kind of work that Black Lives Matter Grassroots does that is so important that folks don't always see, showing up for families, showing up for community, raising awareness and not letting go. Jamal Hakeem wants to know if there's going to be streaming of what's happening at the Jenkins Memorial. I don't think so, right?
We are not planning to stream it, although we might. If we do, you should follow BLM Grassroots. If we do, it'll be on our Instagram. We haven't talked about whether or not it'll be streamed, but there will absolutely be posts. Again, that's BLM Grassroots on Instagram, that if we stream it, it'll be there. And if not, there'll be posts.
BLM Grassroots everywhere. Follow. Jamal also wanted to know what was the crowd for the Trump parade, the military parade. The White House is saying 250,000. I doubt that. I saw a lot of empty seats. They said
250. It was 200.
He said, despite the threat of rain, 250,000 people came out. I don't know. I see a lot of empty seats.
No, there's no way that was 250,000.
250,000 in Trump numbers, in Trump crowd counts. Like you said, probably is 250. We'll keep you posted if I find any other numbers. Talking with Dr. Melina Abdullah and you, it's unapologetically progressive KBLA Talk 1580.
Say the quiet part out loud. KBLA Talk 1580.
May 6th was World Asthma Day, and it's a critical time to raise awareness about your asthma. Did you know that Black Americans are approximately 5 times more likely than white Americans to visit the emergency department due to their asthma? Managing your asthma is possible with regular checkups, avoiding known triggers, using prescribed medications correctly, and creating an asthma action plan with your healthcare professional. An action plan is a personalized plan you create with your doctor that shows you what to do and what medications to take to help control your asthma when you're having a hard time breathing or having an asthma attack. Stay aware. Have a plan because your health matters. For more tips and resources on managing your asthma, visit luma-edu.com. luma-edu.com. This message is brought to you by Amgen and AstraZeneca.
Are you ready to play? Then jump into the LA 84 Foundation's Free Playday Block Party, a community celebration for all ages, including live music, dancing, LA's pro sports teams, great local food trucks, plus special giveaways for you to take home. Enjoy an exciting, fun-filled day for the entire family. Join on Saturday, June 28th from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. at 2141 West Adams Boulevard. To register, go to la84.org. We'll see you Saturday, June 28th at LA 84 Foundation's Free Playday Block Party.
Every mother deserves a healthy and joyous pregnancy and birth, and every baby deserves to thrive. That's why the Los Angeles County Abundant Birth Project is here. The Abundant Birth Project is a guaranteed income program that provides cash during pregnancy to pregnant individuals at the highest risk of preterm and low birth rate babies. Although program enrollment has closed, our commitment to Black joy and thriving continues. Through tailored services that foster mental well-being and community-based resources, we provide care and support during pregnancy and after the baby is born to help build brighter futures for our families. Join us in celebrating abundant births in LA County. For more information, please visit abundantbirthproject.org. abundantbirthproject.org.
Do you owe $10,000 or more in credit card debt or personal loans? With credit card debt at all-time highs, Debt Relief Advocates is urgently notifying consumers of debt relief now being made available, designed to aid consumers with out-of-control credit card debt. Those who qualify and enroll for this relief program will only have to pay back a fraction of what they owe. This is not bankruptcy or a debt consolidation loan. This is a relief program that credit card companies would rather you not know about, as it ends your debt nightmare and saves you lots of money. Consumers owing at least $10,000 in credit card debt or personal loans can now take advantage of this debt relief as the cost of living skyrockets. Debt Relief Advocates has established a relief hotline for you to call to learn what debt reduction you may qualify for. For this free information, call 800-433-8909. 800-433-8909. That's 800-433-8909. Or simply visit godra.com.
Broadcasting live from Leimert Park, USA. Welcome back to your home for unapologetically progressive radio, KBLA Talk 1580.
You can also hear Dr. Melina Abdullah on Saturday mornings with This Is Not a Drill. That's the Black Lives Matter Grassroots BLM LA broadcast, which is part of our station lineup here. Got to ask you again for that poli-sci hat, Dr. Abdullah. But this will also be BLM hat. I didn't realize that Melissa Hortman, the Democratic lawmaker from Minnesota, who was shot by allegedly by Vance Luther Bolter, a Trump supporter, shot and killed, along with her husband, Mark. Didn't realize that she had been one of the lawmakers that was following up more vigorously after the George Floyd murder and trying to make some changes in that state and the policies. It certainly added a level of concern and horror to what is. That's pretty unusual, right, in our country for someone to just kill a lawmaker. I mean, of course, it happened to Kennedy, and a couple of other presidents have been shot and lived, but that's pretty unusual, isn't it?
It's very unusual. We don't usually have politically motivated assassinations, which is what this was. It was a politically motivated assassination, and an assassination we don't usually have. We can count the number of women who've been assassinated, especially in the United States. That's very, very rare. And we can also think about this as connected with an unleashing policy that Trump has. When he unleashes law enforcement, there's also rhetoric that he uses that unleashes, all of those who are advancing his position of really violent white supremacy. And I know that the lawmaker who was killed was white, but really what seems to be behind the killing is anti-Blackness, racism, and political opposition to her liberalism. She was not considered a progressive, even a progressive, right? But her idea that Black people shouldn't be killed at the hands of police is somehow controversial to those who are on Trump's side. And so I have received warnings recently about possible copycats, and I think we should all stay aware and stay alert and keep each other safe.
Yeah. They did arrest this guy over the weekend after a massive, what they call manhunt. I don't know, there's something wrong with that term. But anyway, they did arrest him, and he had a gun, but was taken into custody peacefully. So that should tell you something about who this guy was. And then he shot another couple who are now awake. Senator John Hoffman and his wife took 17 bullets between the two of them, which is pretty insane.
Right. And the fact that he was on the loose for so long, right? That he was on the loose, and they probably took him to Burger King on the way to jail, right?
Yeah.
You know who I'm talking about.
Of course.
I don't know that they took this guy to Burger King. Right. I'm just assuming that's standard practice.
It's the Kyle Rittenhouse treatment, even though this guy's a 57-year-old version of the Kyle Rittenhouse. But it's just, I think it's a terrible development. And, I'm glad that you're being careful, because allegedly this man had a list of 70 other people in his car that were on his list, including Attorney General of the state of Minnesota, Keith Ellison, on that list as well.
So let's all one of the things that we say is we keep us safe. And what that means is we look out for each other. I'm grateful I remember when we were swatted here at my house.
Repeatedly. Well, how many times has that happened?
Repeatedly. 3 times. I don't know anybody who's been swatted more than once. Most people have never been swatted, but when we were swatted here, house surrounded by LAPD, what kept us safe was our neighbors. And I remember when we were moved so that we could, figure out what to do, I was moved to a white neighborhood. And when stuff was going down, I looked around and I was like, these white neighbors ain't going to keep me safe. So I was like, let's get back to Crenshaw.
Take me back to Crenshaw.
Take me back to Crenshaw, where we look out for each other. And that's one of the things that we should look at in the midst of this chaos. There's also beauty, right? That we're looking out for each other, that these community safety teams that are alerting neighbors that ICE is here, right? If you're Black and you don't know any Spanish, just know the words La Migra, right? If you see them coming for your neighbor, you tell your neighbor to be safe, La Migra, right? And we look out for each other. If you see, somebody who doesn't look like they should be off of Crenshaw rolling up in front of my house, yell for me so we know not to come out, right?
Yeah.
And so we got to keep each other safe in these times. If you see people around the station that should not be, make sure people get to their cars safely, right? And those are things that are really, really important in these times.
Yes, they are. Thank you for spending what little is left of your voice with me this morning, Dr. Melina Abdullah. We've got 90 seconds here. I still have a list of 90 questions, but I want to hand you the mic and let you put the spotlight on whatever is most important to you.
Sure. We want to keep people in these streets. Uprising is important. Uprising is important. So you might think that this is not your fight. This is always our fight, Black people, and we can fight and have joy at the same time. So we want you to be in the streets tomorrow. We'll be at Police Commission meeting at 9:30 a.m. to push back against what's happening in the spending of, we've now spent $12 million in LAPD overtime to fight nothing, right? It's not the people, right? The LAPD should be protecting the people, not engaging and conspiring with ICE and all of that. So we'll be at Police Commission meeting tomorrow at 9:30. On Wednesday, we'll be in the streets 211 West Temple saying Nathan Hotman needs to stop prosecuting protesters and start prosecuting the police who shoot us with rubber bullets. And then on Thursday, we're going to have some Black Joy at the Center for Black Power, 12 to 5 p.m. Come play dominoes and spades with me. And you can follow BLM LA on X, BLM Los Angeles on Instagram. Follow me at Doc Melly Mel and follow BLM Grassroots on all social media. And I appreciate you, Sister Dominique.
Yeah, my dominoes game is crap, but my eating food game is really, really strong. So I'll see you at the Center for Black Power on Thursday. And thank you so much for being on today.
Thank you.
It's time for Mindful Monday. Let's get our heads together, and then we'll open up the phone lines and talk about all the things. So much to do, so much to say. KBLA Talk 1580.
KBLA 1580 Santa Monica.
I'm Alexandria Ikamoni with BIN News Now. Vance Bolter, the suspect in the political assassination in Minnesota, has been captured.
We took the suspect into custody who was responsible for this. That was within 43 hours of the incident. There's no question that this is the largest manhunt in the state's history.
Bolter is accused of fatally shooting State Representative Melissa Hortman and her husband, as well as injuring State Senator John Hoffman and his wife in a second shooting early Saturday morning. A curfew is in effect in downtown Los Angeles after police declare an unlawful assembly during the ongoing anti-ICE protests. Los Angeles Mayor Karen Bass, a Black woman, says the downtown curfew will remain in place indefinitely. Nelly and Ashanti are officially launching their reality TV show. We Belong Together will premiere on Peacock on June 26th. Get BIN News Now on demand on the iHeartRadio app.
Think It Up is an initiative to activate student-powered, teacher-led learning projects. Students and teachers, how can you spark great learning experiences in your classrooms today? Join at thinkitup.org.
Is this the time? This is the KBLA Sports Minute with Ray Richardson.
Fans going to Dodger Stadium tonight to see the Dodgers in San Diego will see something they have not seen in almost 2 years. Shohei Ohtani will be the Dodgers starting pitcher. Ohtani, a two-time MVP with the Angels, is making his first pitching appearance since August 23, 2023. Ohtani was prevented from pitching while recovering from major shoulder surgery in the fall of 2023. The Dodgers beat San Francisco Sunday 5-4. Ohtani was 3 for 3 at the plate and scored 2 runs. The Angels were swept in their 3-game series at Baltimore. They lost 11-2 on Sunday. The Angels start a 4-game series tonight in New York against the Yankees. The NBA Finals resume tonight with Game 5 in Oklahoma City. OKC and the Indiana Pacers are tied at 2-2 in the best of 7. TV Ray Richardson on KBLA Talk 1580.
LA's newest soul food